well, see how this is going to go. And this is the state cracking down on civil society. A number of NGOs are basically being cracked down, and the government telling them not to engage in any political affairs. And this is because, according to the government, they have received funds from quarters which are questionable, opened accounts which the government terms as illegal, but also operating without a certificate of registration.
Oh, well, yes, certainly so, Mike. In any nation which is governed by the rule of law, it is admitted that everyone has to be governed within a certain framework. We all know that all these institutions, the NGOs, they have an operating framework, and there are those who are called regulators who are supposed to put them in check. But however, even before the August 8th presidential election, for all those who have been keenly observing, as much as these institutions, such as the NGA Coordination Board, they have a legitimate right to exercise their mandate under the law, the manner in which that exercise has been conducted really does betray the silent motive. Because you are aware that some of these NGOs which were picked out, more so the Kenya Human Rights Commission, the Kura Yangu Sauti Yangu, the Gladwell Otieno's NGO, some of them have been picked out not rather on issues to do with compliance, but rather on issues to do with their perceived support for the opposition at that time. And really, we must appreciate that our Constitution 2010 does provide an enabling environment for citizens, for organizations, to conduct their civic duties under the law. And some of those civic duties include criticizing legitimate criticism of government policy, and holding government into account. And this really ought to remind all of us of a poem which was written by the German pastor, Martin Niemöller, that when they came for the socialists, I kept quiet because I was not a socialist. They also came for the trade unionists, I kept quiet. They came for the Jews, I kept quiet because I was not a Jew. When they came for me, there was no one left to speak for me. So really, we should really encourage everyone to let these organizations play a role. It is even commendable that some of them have even filed a petition in the Supreme Court. That is their constitutional role. What government ought to do is to regulate, but give them that enabling environment to discharge their duties. That is what is required under a democratic and open society.
All right. And well, moving on now to page 6, where we also have a different story there. Good news for parents as state slashes